Is the 8th and final round of this year's South African Rally Championship. It also marks the end of an era. It's the last opportunity we're going to have of seeing these mighty turbocharged rallying machines in South African rallying.
Wel, ons sien uit na 'n baie dramatiese en opwindende tydren, want die spil waarom alles draai is die stryd om die vervaardigerstitel. Daar is slegs 36 punte verskil tussen die voorlopers Volkswagen en Nissan. En albei vervaardigers het soveel as moontlik motors ingeskryf om soveel as moontlik punte in te samel. Die tydren strek oor 'n totale afstand van sowat 600 km. Daar is 21 sneldele en dit is oor 'n totale afstand van ongeveer 200 km.
And just before the start we had a few words with Dave McGregor. Dave, a grand fourth in the last rally in Cape Town, and now you're out of it.
Unfortunately, Roger, some weeks ago, Chris had a major accident with a car and I'm on the other side of the windscreen.
Now the weather seems to have set in. It's going to make it tough.
They've had 75 millimeters of rain out there. The stages are going to be muddy, slippery. I think the four-wheel drive cars have got a definite advantage, and certainly the top 10 cars, because after that it's just going to be a muddy slide.
So we're in for a dramatic 2 days.
Dramatic and exciting rally.
And with Cyril van der Merwe racing in America, having already clinched the South African Rally Drivers' Championship for the 11th time, his navigator Frans Boshoff clinching the Navigators' Championship for the 10th time. It's Serge Dams in the Works Toyota leading this very talented field away. You can see all the favourites there, the spectacular drivers. The one that's really at stake is the Manufacturers' Championship at the moment, led by Volkswagen, 36 points ahead of Nissan.
21 sneldele, 65 motors wat ingeskryf het en die eerste 4 sneldele in die omgewing van Roslyn, dis die hoofkantoor van Nissan, net noord van Pretoria. Daarna gaan hulle brandstof hervulpunt bereik en dan gaan hulle die volgende 3 sneldele in die omgewing van Witbank en Middelburg afhandel voordat die motors oorgeskuif word na Nelspruit vir die begin van die tweede dag van hierdie tydren. En die begin van die tydren, groot spanning wat hoog loop hier by die hoofkantoor van Nissan, waar hulle almal kom kyk na die begin van hierdie tydren. Jy kan sien daar's 'n hele klomp mense wat vandag waarskynlik die tyd afgeneem het om te kom kyk. Jean de Beer van Nissan wat daar die eerste motor wegstuur, is Serge Damso, Vito Bonafide in die plaaslik ontwikkelde Toyota Conquest, 'n 4-wiel aangedrewe motor met 'n turbo aangejaagde engine, 2,8 liter Celica engine en 'n plaaslik ontwikkelde engine en motor hier unieke motor in Suid-Afrika en in die wêreld. Hier is Hannes Grobler en Piet Swanepoel en 'n groot applous van die skare voor Nissan se hoofkantoor vir hierdie manne op wie almal se oë waarskynlik gerig gaan wees.
And they're hardly away from the Nissan head office into stage 1. It's a quarry, there's lots of mud, there's lots of water, and here's number 1 away, Serge Damso in the Works Toyota with Vito Bonafide, his navigator. And this, as Hendrik says, a unique motor car, the Celica engine, pumping out well over 300 horsepower in this Conquest body. He's got nothing to lose. He wants to win this championship before this car, locally made, locally manufactured, goes into the South African Toyota Museum after this rally. And the captain of the Nissan team is Hannes Grobler. Of course, he won it. There he is, and 600 horsepower at his disposal. It's a turbocharged V6. It sounds lovely. He won the Toyota rally down in Cape Town. He won the Roof of Africa in a Nissan Safari, and he wants to make this his hat-trick. But more than anything else, he wants to bring as many Nissans home as he can to take that Manufacturers' Championship. That's the one that is at stake here. And it's tough, as you can see. Here's trouble already for the Audi team as Jeff Mortimer in the Lindsay Sacred motor. Jeff coming back into rallying for this final rally of the year. He's got electrical problems down. In fact, it was a plug wire that came loose. His navigator getting out there is Frans Boshoff. You can see it's a left-hand drive motor car, but they'll be underway. There's a man who can really prepare motor cars, and Jeff Mortimer should have this car underway. There it is, going again. Lovely shot of him going across the South African veld with Jan Evertse coming into picture, and that's a unique shot. 2 Audi Quattros in action, both very successful cars in South African rallying, chasing one another across the South African veld.
Johan Evertse wat baie gelukkig voel en bly voel dat hy hierdie geleentheid kry, die laaste geleentheid wat hy sal kry om in hierdie Audi Quattro S1 turbo te jaag. En kyk net watter indrukwekkende versnelling het daardie Audi Quattro. Daar sien die mense skoot wat ons nooit sommer maklik sien nie. 2 Audi Quattro's, een gaan by die ander een verby. Hulle is 2 spanmaats en Jeff Mortimer skuif oor en gee vir Johan die kans om verby te kom. Hannes Grobler en Piet Swanepoel, dis in die tweede sneldeel hierdie toestande baie moeilik en los kort draadjies En hier en daar 'n redelike lang reguitstuk. Hierdie motor ontwikkel 600 perdekrag uit daardie V6 3-liter engine en dis die begin van die tweede sneldeur. Serge Damso, Vito Bonafide. Dis baie afgekapte stompe en bome en 'n klomp kort draaiende sal net die beste bestuursvernuf kos om hier sonder 'n ongeluk daardeur te kom. Lyk aan die regterkantste voorste modderskerm van die Audi Quattro van Johan Eversen. Kyk 'n bietjie daar, lyk vir my dit al klaar so hier en daar 'n paar stampies af agter die blad en hier is dis Nick de Waal en Guy Hodgson. Nick de Waal en Guy Hodgson en nog 'n plaaslike ontwikkelde motor, die Passat Synchro 4-wiel aangedrewe motor. Glenn Hall en Peter Cuffley in een van die Volkswagen fabrieks ingeskrewe Volkswagen Golfs, 16 klep engine daarin en klas D, een van die gunstelinge om klas D te wen. En Erik Sanders en Tilo van Westhagen kom verby in die Toyota.
And already this is only the second stage, but things are starting to happen. It's already tough for the Volkswagen team, and we've got another 19 stages to go. Yannick Habik from Natal, very spectacular. They don't come more spectacular than Yannick Habik with that glorious sounding 6-cylinder 3-liter Nissan going along. There it is, lovely shot of him. And this is one of the benchmarks of South African rallying, the big 6-cylinder Nissans. The spectators love the spectacle, and the competitors and the navigators certainly love it as well. Always action from these big Nissan Skylines. And there's Glenn Hall with trouble, back axle trouble. He also had a knee operation and eventually went out with a blown engine. But the captain of the Volkswagen team, the Audi team, Jeff Mortimer, look at him getting that wheel in the air as he goes round in the Lindsay Saker Audi Quattro. And the rain is coming, no doubt about it. It's just behind the drivers as Mortimer shows what he can do.
Hierdie motors op gladde renbande op hierdie teergedeelte en die toeskouers is baie lief om te kom kyk hier na hoe veral hierdie Nissan Skylines wat agterwiel aangedrewe motor is deur hierdie draai gaan. Dit is Lappies Kagnele en een van die ou Nissan Stanzas. Hy's ook 'n staatmaker van die Nissan span met Glenn Gibbons en Peter Cuffley in een van die voorwiel aangedrewe Toyota Conquest. Glenn Gibbons wat weet hoe om 'n voorwiel aangedrewe motor te bestuur op in hierdie moeilike toestande. Jy kan sien dis al reeds nat, die reën het begin neerdaal en van hierdie agterste motors gaan nou werklik begin probleme kry en hier moet 'n mens baie versigtig wees dat jy nie die motor hier van die kant van die pad af in die veld in gaan plaas nie. Nou is ons in die omgewing van Witbank, is die 6de sneldeel. Dit is Nick de Waal wat in die tweede sneldeel vroeër 'n brand in die kajuit gehad het, gelukkig dit onder beheer gekry het en hulle gaan weer voor. Cassie Coetzee, dit is sy wêreld hierdie, hy ken hierdie wêreld, hy kom van hierdie wêreld af in die omgewing van Witbank en Middelburg en hy geniet om gate uit. Hy is 'n man wat werklik sy tydrenne geniet. Cassie Coetzee en Wally Harrington, twee baie goeie vriende en hulle is een van die gunsteling in klas B.
And still pressing on, leading Class 2 at the moment for 1600cc cars, Ben and Isabel van der Westhuizen. Well, with Stage 7 cancelled due to the waterlogged roads, they were very bad. It's Hannes Robler with just 23 seconds in the lead over Johan Everts. You can see how close it is, and Serge Damsu 19 seconds behind him. And look at Class B, there's only 5 seconds in it as we start into the second day. You couldn't get it close on this. The rally's tense, you can feel it amongst the drivers, you can feel it amongst the service crews. This is a real humdinger that's going to go right to the finish. And there it is, early morning over. Nel Spaders, Hannes Grobler leading away with those 23 points. We've got 14 stages left in this rally. As Hannes Strobel and Piet Swanepoel set off on the first of 14 stages today, on the second day of the Nissan 400, they've just got a slender lead of 23 points. With me, Dave McGregor. Dave, your impressions of yesterday afternoon's drama-packed event?
Certainly was drama-packed, Roger. There was a sheet of water that seemed to come from nowhere, cancelling the 7th stage. The four-wheel drive cars, a definite advantage. The attack by Volkswagen on the Manufacturers' Championship coming a bit to pieces when 3 of their contenders fell out of the rally, and certainly the meat of the rally starting today.
But Dave, your impressions, you know this area well. What do you forecast for today? It's looking a bit overcast.
It's looking overcast. One thing there won't be a problem with is dust, but I think that on these forest stages, which are really where rallies should be run and counted, on the corners, a lot of loose mud, and that's where the trick is, to know which corners is going to be muddy and slippery and where you can put your foot down. I think, again, a definite advantage for the four-wheel drive cars in today's rally up here in Sabi, Nelspruit area.
Right, let's have a look now at today's route.
Wel, daar begin ons by die eerste sneldeel, dis nommer 8. Eerste sneldeel is 8, dan 19 in die omgewing van Witrivier en Sabi. Dit is in die plantasiewêreld daar en heel wat modder grondpaaie wat die manne daar sal moet aanpak. Dit is Johan Evers en Steve Harding wat klaarmaak aan die einde van sneldeel 8. Hulle het reeds, lyk dit my, so 'n bietjie van die pad af gegaan. 3 sekondes ingehaal op Hannes Grobbel en Piet Swanepoel. Maar reeds begin die aksie hier aan die begin van die tweede dag. En die gaping is al kleiner tussen die voorlopers. En die spanning is besig om al hoër en hoër en hoër te gaan. Hannes Grobbel, hulle wat weet dat hulle hier 'n tydren op hulle hande het. Dit is in die 9de sneldeel. Cassie Coetzee en Wally Harrington, hoë spoed daar in die bosse. Het lyk baie maklik, moet ek jy sê, maar teen ongeveer 180 km/h, en dit is waar hierdie motors in staat is op 'n gelykdeel, is dit groot handvol om daardie groot Nissan Skyline so netjies en gladweg om daardie S-draai te kry soos wat Cassie Coetzee dit nou daar doen. Cassie Coetzee wat een van die mees talentvolle tydrenjaars in Suid-Afrika is. Hier is Jannie Habig, weer eens sywaarse Jannie soos ons hom almal ken, maar hy beheer sy motor, hy weet presies wat hy doen wanneer hy om haar draai gaan. En met Jannie en Johan en Martie Olivier en een van die agterste motors in die laer klasse, maar hulle loop voor in klas C op die oomblik 2 sekondes bo Ben en Isabel van der Westhuizen.
And this is what South African rally is all about, down in the forests with a works Audi Quattro at work. Johan Everts out to show that he can win this rally, and going about it, he's leading at the moment. He's been followed by Serge Damzu, catching him in the works Toyota. He's got Hannes Strobler marshalling all the Nissans he can get together so that he can come home with the manufacturer's prize. Habig once again into stage 11. You can see the conditions, the overcast skies, the mud, the loose sand, and that skyline work. Listen to that glorious sound as it goes down the road. Here he is again, using using more than he should do as he goes away there, scattering half the banking across the countryside. And here's the battle for Class C, the 1600 class. Just trailing the field by 2 seconds is Ben and Isabel van der Westhuizen. And here are the leaders in the older model Volkswagen, bringing in the points for Volkswagen, Johan and Marty Olivier. So it's a husband and wife team. This morning it was 4 seconds ahead for the van der Westhuizens. Now it's 2 seconds ahead for the Oliviers. And unfortunately, just after that shot, the Oliviers went out with a broken side shaft. The Surge starting to go into the lead now. He's putting the pressure on, taking those vital seconds off. Still looking a bit second-hand, as is Nick de Waal leading Class B. We're coming up to the lunchtime break, but still the power's going on as he goes into those deep forests. Here's Leon Botha and Davy Kotza in the Nashua Vaal Golf Opsie. Very slippery, as you can see out there, and they go straight on at that turn. In that golf, the marks you see in the road, in fact, are also Jeff Mortimer's, where he went on straight at the same turn. Now we're coming up to the lunch break, and the new leader is Serge Damzu with a slender lead of just 2 seconds. Serge, just 7 stages to go, and you've got a 2-second lead. You certainly are putting the pressure on Hannes.
Well, after yesterday, we had a slight misfire, and this morning we decided, well, we'll have to put some pressure on, and just as well as a bit wet out there for us, that definitely helps us. And it's quite hairy. We had a few spins already, so we'll see from here it goes.
Hy is stilweg optimisties, maar kom ons hoor wat sê Hannes Grobbel. Hannes, daai voorsprong het verdwyn, die druk is nou regtig op jou, lyk dit my.
Ons hoop ons kan uitsorteer. Die groot ding met ons, die verskil tussen ons en die ander twee manne is, hulle kan voluit gaan, hulle wil die tydren wen. Ons probeer om te wen, maar ons moet ook in ag neem dat Nissan gaan vir die vervaardigers. So ek kan ook nie kanse vat nie. Hulle kan kanse vat, as hulle uitval, dan maak niks nie vervaardigers nie. So ek moet nog klaarmaak en ek wil probeer om eerste te kom.
Indruk, ja, die spanning is baie hoog. Ek dink op hierdie stadium van die tydren moet ons maar almal versigtig wees, want die paai is so nat en glad. Een fout kan vir jou maklik 20-30 sekondes of heeltemal uit die tydren uitsit. My taktiek op hierdie stadium sal maar net wees om so na aan moontlik aan die manne te bly, en hopelik kry ons 'n paar snel dele wat die kar pas, en dan sal ons van daar af kyk of ons nie kan wen nie.
And with just 7 stages to go in this year's South African Rally Championship, how could you have it closer? 3 seconds separating the first 3 Class A motorcars. You can see there's Serge and Vito in the Toyota Conquest, just 2 seconds ahead of Hannes Strobel and Piet Swanepoel in that mighty Nissan Skyline, with Johan Everts and Steve Harding in the Audi Sport S1, the one that has taken Sarel van der Merwe to the South African Championship already, just a solitary second behind them. Nick de Waal and Guy Hodgson leading Class B ahead of Cassie Coetzee and Wiley Harrington, and then in Class C, Johan Prince leading with Basil Anderson, Class E, Eric Saunders in the Toyota, and Class F, Rula Fecken.
Nog 7 sneldele oor in die omgewing van Sabie en Witrifuur is hier waar hierdie tydren beslis gaan word en waarskynlik ook die Suid-Afrikaanse vervaardigerstitel. In die omgewing van Sabie en Witrifuur daar in die bosse, plantasies, grondpaaie, baie modder, daar wat heelwat reën geval die afgelope tyd. En hier is dit Jan Evertse en Steve Harding die stryd om die voor te hou in hierdie baie belangrike laaste tydren van die seisoen. Hy Audi Quattro wat al so bietjie gehavend lyk na baie moeilike tydren tot dusver. Hier is Serge Damse, Vito Bonafide en dit lyk my daar die flikkerlig van hulle het hulle nou reg gekry. Maar nog steeds so hard as wat hulle kan, want daar is sekondes verskil tussen hierdie eerste 3 met Hannes Grobler hulle ook hier. En dit is baie belangrik vir hulle om so goed as moontlik te eindig en soveel as moontlik punte in te samel.
And Nick Duval, leading Class B, is going to hang on to that lead despite all the dented bodywork, putting on a grand drive there with Guy Hodson. And then we've got Ben and Isabel van der Westhuizen, that husband and wife team. They were second at lunchtime, but in fact they went into the lead when Prince and Anderson went out with a broken side shaft. Spectacular. Dickie Claver leading at the moment, but there's a broken side shaft ahead for him as he gets onto the muddy roads. And ever Mr. Consistency himself, it's Eric Saunders reeling in the winds in that Toyota. Now we're down to the final, most important stages. 3 stages to go. Damsu still leading, Hannes Grobler. Nick Duval leading Class B at the moment. And the bad news came through that Johan Evertse went out with a blown turbo. And as the sun comes through at the end of this very wet rally, news also filters through from the forest that Hannes Grobler has been slowed by a puncture and is also running in 2-wheel drive. And that's a big setback for him, leaving the little conquest of Serge Damsu and Vito Bonafide to win this rally by just over 3 minutes.
3 minute 21 sekondes om die waarheid te sê die verskil tussen Serge Damsu en Vito Bonafide in die Toyota Conquest. Hulle is baie bly om daardeur Laurierkrans van Genie de Beer te ontvang tussen hulle en Hannes Grobler en Piet Swanepoel wat dan in die tweede plek eindig, ongelukkig na daardie meganiese probleme. Oorwinnaars dan in klas A, Serge en Vito in die Toyota Conquest. In klas B, die Volkswagen Passat van Nick en Guy, Nick Duval en Guy Hodson. In klas C, die egpaar Ben en Isabel van der Westhuizen in die Volkswagen 1600 Volkswagen Golf. Nuno de Cunha wat deurkom om klas D te wen nadat Dickie Claver hulle probleme gehad het in die tweede laaste sneldeel. Erik Sanders, Stilo van Westragen, die oorwinnaars weer eens soos gewoonlik kan 'n mens amper sê in hulle Toyota Conquest in klas E. En in klas F was dit Rolof Vekken en François Jordan wat die oorwinning daar behaal in hulle Toyota Conquest. So hoewel Nissan dan die vervaardigersprys gewen het in hierdie tydren, is dit wat die seisoen betref agter die naam van Volkswagen en hulle is hierdie jaar se kampioene. Wat 'n ongelooflike einde aan 'n